but his real name is Brandon, the one and only Brandon Oshiro.
Another round of applause for Clifton. So that's, we were talking story, even like just about half an hour ago, I was like, how you all right now? He was like, now I'm getting nervous. As his neighbors are walking in. So another round of applause because this gentleman did an amazing job opening up. Thank you very much, Clifton. All right, now you can go relax and breathe. Awesome. All right, so tonight is a presentation that we're going to go over. So I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about what to expect for tonight. How many of you are all about low risk, high rewards or high returns? Okay, awesome. Any business owners in the crowd tonight? Business owners? Oh, okay, we got a bunch of those as well. Awesome. How many people got families out there? Families? Okay, so you guys got families out there. Awesome. Because what tonight you're going to be able to hear in part of this presentation that we have tonight is on how this class that Clifton was talking about supports all the things that we just talked about and even more. And so what I'm going to ask for you folks this evening, as we have a packed house, like we had enough chairs, I think, for 30 or 40 people, and I believe we're at over 60 plus. It's filling on the outside, so thank you very much, guests that are on the outside as well. It is a packed house. And since you're all here for tonight, I'm just going to ask one thing. Since you're already here, maybe listen and take a time to see if you can connect with anything that is being said by individuals that come up to the front, whether it be with Clifton, myself, and we do have some amazing individuals that are going to be coming up and doing some of their shares as well. I'm going to start off with, though, how many of you know why you're here? Because there's a lot of people. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, well, let's go. Ryan, thank you very much. All right, let's go the other side. How many people don't know why you're here? Awesome. Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. So, reason why you're here tonight is because an individual, or you might even see on the internet, had invited you to come tonight. So imagine if you go to an amazing restaurant or an amazing event, right? And you had so much fun, you got so much out of it, then you go home and you start telling your friends and family, right? Or you start telling your co-workers and whatever else. So this class, what I'm going to go over, is a presentation tonight on a class called PSI Seminars. And so tonight is all about just giving you guys some of the menu items as to what the presentation and what the seminar is all about. We're also going to have individuals who are going to come up who have taken the class and are volunteering and donating their time tonight because of all the things that they have achieved in the class. They wanted to come by and support whoever set up, which was partly would be Bernadette and Clifton that put together this event. And so a lot of these graduates came tonight. Some even flew out from the Big Island just to be here tonight to do one of their shares as well. To be clear, anyone that had invited you here tonight including those that are going to be coming up and speaking, does not get paid a single dime if you decide to enroll into this class at the end of the evening. So I want to be very clear. Whoever invited you tonight will not get paid should any of you decide to sign up at the end of the night. Now the reason why I'm stating that is because at the end of the evening, you will have an opportunity to sign up for this class or enroll into this class. So in case any of you were scared, like, oh my goodness, are they gonna ask? I will tell you now, yes, they will ask you. At that point, you can ask them, was I the only person? Or you can say, well, you owe me a big dinner then because, man, I didn't realize I'm going to be in here and da-da-da, right? So you can ask the individual that invited you here tonight, why? Why is it that you asked me to come here tonight? And that's the conversation that you guys get to have with those individuals. So I want to start off this evening by doing a couple things. Oh, by the way, how was the food? Yeah, I can smell it. I'm on keto. So I didn't know if it's something I could eat, and yet it looks like it's going away and gone. The cake pops look like it's gone already. It looks like there's more dessert. So get ready. You guys are going to not only have an event to hear about a seminar, you also get to get some great food here as well. All right, I'm gonna start off with this because this is gonna be my callback, right? I'm gonna start with this, and then throughout the night, you're gonna see individuals going back to this. As I'm going through some of the definitions and what the class is about, I'm gonna go back to this. What, anybody can guess, besides the graduates, what these numbers on the left side are? Wild guess.
Even.
Even. You are so right. I will add that to my knowledge now. Yes, it's even. Anybody else want to take a guess as to what these numbers are on the left side of the board here? Age groups. Age groups. Now, if these are ages, what do you think these numbers on the right side of the board is? Any guess? Because they're not even, by the way. And the answer is not odd, just in case you're thinking that right. Anybody can guess what the right side numbers are? If these are ages, what would these numbers be? Percentages. What in the world does ages and percentages have anything to do with a presentation? Here we go. Infancy to 4 years of age. 50% of who you are as an adult right now is based on an event that has happened to you or someone close to you that you're either mimicking or going to do something completely the opposite. Infancy to 4 years old, 50%. 4 years old to 8 years old, you're going to add another 30% of who you are as a man as of today, as a woman today, what that looks like at that point from 4 to 8 years old. 8 to 18, you're adding another 15%. Infancy to 18 years old, 95% of what foods you like, what kind of, if you like to have fun, if you like to dance, if you don't like to dance, how much money you're making right now, how much homes you have right now. Are you a renter right now? Are you living at home with your family right now? On getting a divorce, your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your parents, wanting to ever create a business, failing at businesses, having amazing success with businesses, how you communicate. Are you a yeller? Are you one that just quietly just giggles when someone's yelling at you? When someone yells at you, all of a sudden you want to throw a right punch, or a hook, or a straight jab. Anything and everything as an adult today falls between infancy to 18 years old. And I'm going to show you why there's a 95%, because as mathematicians will tell you, we're looking at what it looks like to be at 100. I'm going to go a little more into detail as to what this is, as I'm now going to start onto the definition of the class. And I'm going to show you how this starts tying in. So PSI stands for the Personal Success Institute. Back in 1973, it was talking about, it was actually called People Synergistically Involved. Ever since Google came up into play, what the marketing team started to realize was like, nobody really Googles synergistic. And therefore, it's now known as the Personal Success Institute. PSI Basic is an educational course in which you challenge yourself to explore, question, and discover your life such that you get to expand your personal and professional effectiveness now. How many folks have goals out there? Goals? Goals? How many of you have achieved every single goal that you've ever created? Okay? How many of you is a percentage of how many goals you actually created? So like maybe you only got 2% of the goals that you ever created. Or how many of you even stopped dreaming of goals? Because at the end of the day, what this class is all about is expanding your personal and professional effectiveness. And if you notice, the key word down here is the word now, not someday. Take it back towards the middle. Because if we're going to expand your personal and professional effectiveness, well, what makes this class different from a YouTube channel, or a book, or a mentor, or someone that is talking to you about things? This is the difference here, where you get to challenge yourself to explore, question, and discover. So I'm gonna liken this to an analogy of riding the bicycle. Okay, so anybody don't know how to ride a bicycle? Really? Okay. If you wanted it as a goal, I got you. In case you wanted it as a goal, I got you to support you. So, everyone else that knows how to ride a bicycle, if I give you a YouTube video, to be fair, I'm that old that there was no YouTube when I was younger learning how to ride a bike. So, just to say there. But if I showed you a YouTube video, I gave you a book, I gave you audio, someone told you how to do it, how many of you people that is in the crowd tonight, before riding that bicycle, you get to hear and understand about balance? And for the very first time, how many of you would take your bicycle to the top of Wilhelmina Rise and ride it straight down with no, what's called training wheels? There's some of you daredevils that might do that. And the reason why many of us don't do that is because there's one thing that all that watching, seeing, and hearing does not teach us. We're not able to explore, question, and discover it for ourselves. It's not until you actually jump on the bicycle do you start to understand and feel balance. Right? It's not until you start moving and pedaling a little forward do you start to understand, feel, experience balance. And once you start to understand, feel, and explore balancing and discovering balancing, that's when the training wheels come off. I have a 7-year-old nephew who at 5 years old, his older brother who's 2 years older was already on the bicycle. And he wanted to be just like his brother. And he was about a year behind. And I remember the day that he took off the training wheels when my father was behind him, running alongside with him, and then he stopped and let go. And he kept on riding, and he thought that my dad was behind him, pushing him still yet. And when he realized that my father ran in front of him, and he turned around and looked, and no one was behind him, he crashed. And just know that he was also so excited, because for the very first time, he finally got to experience what balance was. No matter how much times his grandpa, which was my father, told him how to balance, it wasn't until he actually experienced it. That's what makes this class completely different from any other class that is out there. Now, this class has been going on for over 50 years. It all started right here in Hawaii, and in fact, the owner or the co-creator of this seminar, his name is Tom Wilhite and his wife Jane, they actually started this seminar in the Hawaii prison system. And the Hawaii prison system, what they decided to do was, he said, you know what, I got a bunch of these tools and techniques because I understand infancy to 18 years old, 95% of who these criminals are is based on an event that had happened here. And what he loved about this idea was that he loved individuals that are going 100 miles an hour, because all these felons were going 100 miles an hour. Just like Aikido or mixed martial arts, if anyone does mixed martial arts, all you have to do now, just like Aikido, is kind of bend them a little, right? Just guide them a little more this way. And now that 100 miles an hour going this way can actually now go this way. And so he knew that going to the Hawaii prison system, he wanted the biggest dogs that are out there, the meanest guys, the leaders of the leaders of the leaders of the prison system. And he said, I will show you folks a bunch of tools and technique. And by the way, he went in there with no guards. He went in there with no weapons, because he knew that he knew that he knew that it didn't matter how big and scary some of these individuals were, that his message or the tools that he had would support them in creating something like they've never ever had in their entire lives. And therefore, once those leaders in the prison took the class, they actually started saying and greeting hello to other inmates, to prison guards. Which back in the 70s, I don't know how many of you are that old, but there are stories out there on how they had to call in the National Guards to come into the prison system because they were very unruly. And so this was just using some of those tools and techniques on those prison guards. And that happened over 50 years ago right here in Hawaii. And now it's all over the world. So I'm going to go over a real quick thing so that we can discover and explore something. So for 60 seconds, I'm going to ask you folks something. And you guys are going to have 60 seconds. Joe, do you have your phone? Can you support me with 60 seconds?
Sure can.
All right, so for 60 seconds, you're going to turn to someone on the side of you, in front of you, in the back of you, and you're going to talk about a 5-year goal that you want to accomplish in just 90 days. A 5-year goal that you want to accomplish in 90 days. Joy, you ready?
Yep.
Hit that timer, go. Talk. What are those goals? You want to buy a house, start a business, non-profit organization, create a relationship with my parents, with my children, get to the next level of my company, become a manager, the SVP, the EVP, the president. What are your goals and dreams? Go. Write a book. Travel around the world. Buy a yacht. Hire your boss. Keep it going. Go after your goals. 5-year goals. In 90 days. Go. Now there are individuals in this room that we did this just 6 months ago. And an individual threw up their goal in the dream, their 5-year goal in the dream, and I'm proud to say that this individual has achieved that goal and that dream in less than 6 months. It was a 5-year goal that he just threw up here, and he achieved it. That simple, that quick. So, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to share with me some of those goals and their dreams. Popcorn shares and go. Yes, what was yours?
I want to open up my own salon.
Open your own salon. Open a salon. Where would you like the salon to be at?
Here in Kaka'ako.
In Kaka'ako. Okay, Kaka'ako. How many staff would you want?
No more than like 5.
5 staff. All right, 5 staff. Now, do you want to be working there the whole entire time, or you want to gradually make it so that way it's working on its own?
No, I want everybody to be renters. I don't
Oh,
wanna,
you rent stalls.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right, anybody else has a goal or dream? Yes, what was it?
Raise another $1 million from Iris Foundation.
I love what you just said. Raise another $1 million. I like that. Raise another mill. And that's for a non-profit, you said?
Arts Foundation.
Arts Foundation. Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody wants to travel? Oh no, yes sir.
I cut my retirement time in 4 years. 4 years.
So you want to retire within 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh. Awesome. Now, just a quick question. With a retirement in 4 years, would you like to have it a goal where not only are you getting money and income with your retirement, you're also making more income and not even having to work still yet?
That's part of the plan.
Well, that's part of the plan. All right, make more money then. Gotcha. In the back, say something?
Travel,
Travel. Where are you traveling to, sis?
maybe another 10 more countries.
10 more countries. Starting with?
Philippines.
Yes. And then ending where?
I was gonna say Japan.
Japan. Hey, you know what? We'll put Japan. We'll put Japan for now, okay? We'll put Japan, all right? All right, awesome. Anybody else want to put up a goal here?
Live in France while working here.
Oh, I love that, Greg. Live in France while working here. Working. I just know one phrase, je ne peux pas français, and I was told that I slur that, so don't use that, right?
It sounds like that after about a bottle of wine.
Is that what it Oh, what I said was I speak very little French. That's what I said. All right. You now have 30 seconds. 30 seconds only, half the time, to come up with every single excuse why you're not getting any of these goals. And go. 30 seconds. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. My husband, my wife, not smart. I procrastinate. I don't know how. My taxes, recession, like what are the reasons why you're not getting these goals? All right, time. And give me those excuses. There you go. What are your excuses? No money. No time. What? No, it's because of your honey. Because of life.
Because of husband.
Because of husband. All right. Because of husband.
The kids.
My kids.
The bed.
The what?
Yes.
The bank.
The pets.
Oh, pets. Don't know how.
Where? Failure.
Fear.
Fear. Failure.
No connections.
No connections.
No goals.
No goals.
Yeah, no goals. No, my goals.
Don't know how.
Don't know how. Oh, got that there. Okay, so we do that twice.
Too hard.
Too hard.
Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. My ego. Not enough.
Procrastination.
Procrastination. Lazy. All right. Here's an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. And what makes this seminar completely different from YouTube videos, from books, from any other seminar that is out there. Because you just had an opportunity to explore, discover, question, such that life that you can expand your personal and professional relationships now. I asked everyone to come up with some goals, some dreams, and put it up there. And I struggled. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not make it right, wrong, good, or bad. Pay attention to the numbers that are on this board. Infancy to 18 years old, 95% of your limiting beliefs, which includes not dreaming anymore. What you got to experience, explore, and discover in this 30 seconds. How quickly were you guys coming up with all of the excuses, with the I don't know how? I mean, I'm doubling up, I'm tripling up. Did you guys notice that? Infancy to 18 years old, 95% of your limiting beliefs, your limitations. We have been brought up to focus on this. Because when we were infants, I know that each and every one of us at infancy, if we wanted to be fed, we cried. We were not afraid to ask for that. We wanted our diapers to get changed. We were not afraid to ask for that. If I wanted a toy, I was not afraid to ask for it. If I wanted to go to Disneyland, I was not afraid to ask for it. My dreams, my goals, my visions as a kid at infancy were all there. And it wasn't start growing up. Doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad about my parents. But they were making only so much money. Brandon can't afford to go to Disneyland right now. Brandon, we're not able to afford to buy you clothes right now. Brandon, we're not able to take you on a school trip. Brandon, we're not able to pay for your lunch in Waiana High School. Events that has happened, 95% of your limiting beliefs, where you're at today, is based upon an event that you're either mimicking or you're going completely the opposite. Divorce rates in America was not like this. And yet because we experience those things, it gets more and more and more. Doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. Children disobeying their parents was not like this. I was just reading the Bible, and they said that back in the days, children would be stoned to death if you disobeyed your parents. Can you imagine that today? And yet, infancy to 18 years of age, we have kids that are shooting up schools. circles right now. That's what this seminar is about. To open up those doors to the what if. Like, what if you took a 3-day seminar that was a money back guarantee, which this seminar is, that you could go back to dreaming. And what I'm going to bring up some individuals that are going to start sharing with you folks. It's not about dreaming. It's actually about making it happen. Because what if this last 5%, which by the way, it's 100%, that last 5% in this seminar, what it does is give you 80 different tools and techniques to make that last 5% so that we start concentrating on these things and solutions instead of focusing on all of the can'ts. There's a new study that is out there right now that has just changed this. By the time you're 6 years old, 90% of how much money you're making today is based on something infancy to 6 years of age. I'm going to show you what this class is about. I'm going to bring up some amazing individuals, and this is kind of a little menu of what this class is about that has been doing it for over 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this? Did someone say a square, please? To be a boss, as a presenter, you don't need to know how to do a 90-degree angle. Just letting you guys know. All right. So the first side that we're going to talk about is the physical side of things. On the physical, we're talking about this. We're talking about health, and we're talking about stress. On the bottom side, we're going to talk about this word called emotional. On the emotion, we're going to talk about communication, relationships. On this side, we're going to talk about mental. Along with mental, we're going to talk about wealth. When I took this class, I thought of wealth and I only associated with money. And then I started to understand and realize that wealth of family, wealth of love, wealth of experiences, there's so much more for wealth, right? Then we started talking about creativity. Last but not least, we talk about solutions on this side. Imagine for the last 5%, you had tools and techniques to come up with creativity and solutions for all of your dreams and to just start dreaming. Like, what does that look like for your world? That's the reason why the bottom of this, it says professional effectiveness now, not someday, because I'm going to bring up a bunch of individuals that are proving that till this day. Last top we're going to be talking about is the spiritual side. Sai Seminars is not tied to any kind of a religion, not tied to any dogma. If you are religious, then please make sure you interject your religion into this world of spiritual. If you're not into spiritual and you're more about the universe, then you're going to start using something like spiritual with leadership. And we're talking about leadership, it's leadership with oneself, also with the community. And then this word here, unconditional. And when I see the word unconditional, we're going to add in this word, giving and love. Now, before I bring up these next amazing individuals, give yourself just like a Google snapshot to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on each side of this square. I'll give you an example. 1 on physical, you're gonna do what I did today. My boss is here, so I hope she's not listening. I woke up and watched Netflix, and I hugged my dog that we're watching for 3 weeks. Did not exercise one bit. Got a lot of love and licks from the doggy. 10, you jump up and woo! You're up and running, you're going, right? And I know there's some of you out there that does that right away. You should rate yourself 1 to 10. Emotional, communication, relationships, 1 to 10. 1, you broke every single relationship. You're not friends with any of your friends. You don't have a relationship with your parents, with your kids, or whatever else. Mental side, it can be tied to money. How much money are you making? How much money are you not making? 1 to 10. On the spiritual side, whether it be a dogma, unconditional love, leadership, doing things for the community, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Because at the end of the day, what this looks like is balance, happiness, P-O-M, which is peace of mind, and we call this the MORE seminar. Balance, because if you're a 3 here, a 3 here, a 7 here, and a 7 here, imagine like 4 tires on a car. For those of you who got family and children, how many of you would run down H3 freeway going 65 miles an hour with your tire pressure 30%, 30%, 70%, and 70%? Is that responsible of you as a family to be driving on the road when that kind of balance is going on in your car?
No.
Or 10%, 5%, 2%, 100%, or 100% and 100%, and then flat and flat. I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna bring up all 4 individuals. So please help me welcome up Faye. Come on up, Faye. Bernadette, where's Bernadette? Come on up, Bernadette. Charles, come on up, Charles. Daniel, come on up. These are volunteers, by the way. I'm gonna ask them some questions, and they're just gonna answer these questions for you folks. Now, the reason why I'm changed up the format a little bit, because normally it's not done this way, is because when I was I had a meeting with them, I just realized that they're all huge, successful business owners, like huge, successful business owners. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change this up just a little bit. So I'm gonna start off with you, Faye. So, Faye, when did you take the basic seminar?
I took the basic class back in 2019.
2019? Okay. Bernadette, when did you take the basic seminar?
December 2022.
Just a few months ago. Awesome. Daniel, when did you take the basic seminar? 2015? Charles, when did you take the basic seminar?
Oh, shit, I guess mine is the longest. I just came out of federal prison, so it's 2008.
2008? Just notice where you guys went on some of you guys when he said federal prison, right? Like,
Yeah, and yes, I am from Waianae. That's what came out.
So next question now I'm going to ask you guys, because we do talk about this seminar, right? Doing the seminar that it supports us with both personal and also supports us with business. So let's start off with business side of things. Like, how has this supported you on the professional side with business, Faye? What was it kind of like before, and then what was it like afterwards?
Great question. Before I took the class, I was already a filmmaker working in the local industry. Now, after I took the class, against all odds, meaning I was told to my face that I had 2 major problems. I am a woman and I'm a foreigner, and my goals were too high. Well, I took the class and I took projection to fit my field, and I am the first female Hispanic commercial director in the state. I have been awarded in the advertising world.
Wow. Bernadette, professionally, what was it like for you before the seminar, and what is it looking into the teach, being that you just took it in December?
I mean, I have been blessed with a beautiful life and a great career, and I have a great job at UAs. I'm a creative director, teach as a professor for broadcast journalism, and I also had my own company. I have been doing a TV show for 20 years, but I lost my creativity and I stopped producing, and it has been 5 years of repeats on the air. I have not produced a new show for myself and my community, and now, after the basic, just not even 3 or 4 months since then, I have been able to negotiate a new investment with people in LA for 5 times the amount I would normally make on a sponsorship for advertising, and I have a year's worth of airtime that will be airing new shows in November.
Daniel, before basic and after basic on your professional side.
Before the basic, I knew I was at the top of my game, and I got a nice reminder here. I was in a tower crane putting up
The one right here?
buildings. No, I think Park Lane.
Oh, Park Lane. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
One on Awana, and it was the top of my game, top of my realm. I never knew there was another top of the game, I guess, in that sense, right? You know, the vision's skewed, but man, since then it's been total entrepreneurship. I mean, we have multiple companies, general contractors, so I took that view, I guess, and turned it into my reality, basically. You know, and I found the basic in the crane. Literally sitting in the crane, I found the basic that way.
And how much would you say you've now amassed,
I would say
percentage-wise?
we've since then 5x'd what I made then, which was incredible then, and yeah, we're on track to 5x that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna start off with this, that in case you're sitting here and like, man, this is for broken people. I wanted to share with you that they already were successful. Because one thing that I do know is that successful people continue to grow. One of the tools that we learn is that if you're not growing, you're decaying, there's no such thing as stability. So when you start taking a look at the room here, the floor, the wood, the mirrors, and everything else, once it stopped growing, it's starting to decay already. And it may not look like on the surface, and yet it is. So one of the easiest way that we all using the tools and techniques to figure out if you are decaying is easy. Because if you're not figuring out how to grow on any side of those square, you're immediately decaying. I can take you into a room of 90-year-old men and women that are still growing. And today, because of YouTube, TikTok, and other things, I can take you into a room of 5-year-olds that are already decaying. Then I'm gonna go over to Charles, because he already talked about the prison. So Charles, before the basic and after the basic on your professional side.
So it's hard to call being a criminal a professional, but I guess you can call it. Like I said, I was from Waianae, and if you're wondering what I went to prison for, I used to be a drug dealer. So I got sentenced to 8.5 years federal prison for drugs. And coming up from Waianae, that's the only model I had. Both my parents never finished school or never went to school, so that's the model I had. And so I ended up getting sentenced to prison. I came out, I reconnected with a friend who went to this class. And unlike them, I was at the bottom. Like I was like, man, I just need something to help me out here. I'm at home living with my parents in Uluve. How many people from Waianae? 2. Oh, wow, just one person. We're small, but So I moved back home, my parents in a low-income housing area. You guys won't know where it is, but it's a low-income housing area in Waianae. And I was working minimum wage. Just kind of get my life back together, and then my friend said, her life changed, like drastic. I was like, what happened to you? She's like, I went to this class. I was like, sign me up. I just went. So I didn't have a chance to sit and hear all these stories. I just said, if you can do that to you, I'm in. And so I go in, and then, basically financially what happened for me was, I don't think I really had these goals and visions and dreams, but at that time for me it was just to own a house. Like one house. It's like, I just want to own a house. And for me, coming out of prison, that seemed impossible. I had a lot of excuses, right? What you need like credit, you need tax returns. I have no tax. You don't get tax returns in prison. For those of you who never went to prison, but you don't get tax returns. You don't have credit. None of those things. You don't make enough money, right? But he said, hey, Brandon said, no excuses, right? There's a way, and there's actually an exercise. I'm not going to share the exercise. The guy goes, how many of you want 100% guaranteed get any goal you want? I was like, yeah, well, how do I do that? And so, basically, he gives you experience the answer. Like I said, you experience it, and I said, all right, let's go. And so, let's see, took me about 6 months after coming out of basic. I bought my first house. And then I thought, man, shoot, I don't have money. I still don't have credit. I still don't have any other things I had. So I was like, you know what, let's do it again. So in 3 months, I got my second house. I think in about 10 years, not 10 years, about a year, I got 10 properties. Then it started getting easier. And I said, you know what, let me try to go to multifamilies. And so I started buying multifamily properties. And then that got easy. And then so, let me go buy a building. So I started buying buildings. How many of you been to the West Side? Okay, cool. So if you guys go down to Waianae, there's the brown building where Countryside Cafe is. That's one of my properties. Yeah, yeah. Also, you go further down, there's Pearl Federal Credit Union. That's one of my properties. Only credit union in the West Side. And so that's been my mission to transform Waianae Coast, and financially, obviously money is, I have the luxury of freedom to have money. I take care of my parents. I just came back from traveling to 8 different countries in the last few weeks. So, and the epitome, if I can just add, epitome of all that isn't necessarily about what I got, but what I can do for the community. So, right before COVID kind of put a little bit of wrench into the thing, so we've got to work it all out. But I'm from Waianae. I wanted to make a difference in Waianae. I donated $100,000 to Waianae Elementary School.
Wow. Thank you very much. On the personal side, so we talk about business, we talk about personal. Okay, personal side.
On the personal side, I was drowning in a relationship that was not serving either of us. So I ended that relationship, and I can joyfully and proudly share with you all that we share a son that we love very much, and we are a team co-parenting, which I didn't even think that was possible. So we are a team, and we sent our son, 13 years old, to live in a boarding school in Barcelona because he has big dreams and goals, wants to be a professional soccer player, and his dad and I work together to make that happen for him.
Thank you very much. Well, again, in the quick 3-4 months that you did the basic seminar, on the personal side, what have you discovered and some of your goals that you did there?
I was divorced several years before I took the basic, and the relationship I had with my ex was not so good. After the basic, the first person I called that night was my ex. And Rick, you remember. And I said, you know what, dude? I am so sorry for all the years that I played the victim with you. I blamed you for everything. I blamed you for everything, and the kids got caught in that crossfire. And I didn't realize what I was doing. And when I put my work in front of my kids and my family, I saw what I was doing. And I asked for forgiveness, and today we are friends again. We're golfing again. Look at my son is here. Thank you for supporting me, guys.
There's an onion. Someone cut an onion in here. Why not? That's why we don't cry, right? Oh, man, onion.
All tough.
Daniel, personal?
I thought about this. In a way, I was like a perpetual bachelor. Didn't want to settle down. Didn't use those words, those 3 words, for years. And yet, a ton has changed since then. 3 kids, little ones, 7, 5, 2. Just everything's different, you know. I definitely. This has helped me be a better father. So that was a big deal. Once I've learned, we went through the class, right, talking about, and I heard you talking about it earlier, as far as the programs, right? I've got babies, and just knowing that, it's helped me curb it, right? Curb passing on whatever I received from my parents, you know. So that's priceless, like that's priceless, you know. And then of course just being better for my partner, you know what I mean? Like that really changed a lot because I was not about that. So
thank you. Charles, personal.
So if you look at the part of the square was up there earlier, I saw it, and it said like relationships. Yeah, relationships. Because mine was off. The relationship part was, I struggled in relationships, and I think a lot of it, well, a big part of it was because, like we talked about, you know, the programs and like the system that's set up when the belief systems that's created when you're a child. And I grew up with a very abusive mom. She beat me pretty regularly, like almost every other day, and she actually tried to kill me twice. She tried to stab me once, and she tried to poison me another time. And so we have a great relationship now, so it works. Trust me. Yeah. To come back from that, you gotta know it works. So we have a great relationship. Everyone knows my mom. They love her. They probably wouldn't imagine.
No.
She tried to kill me. Can you imagine that? She tried to kill me.
Remind me that when they eat fun next time.
Yeah. Check your phone before you eat it. But I grew up with this belief that something must be wrong with me. Man, why is my mom beating me? Something must be wrong. I must not be enough. And so not realizing, I didn't realize it until you don't think, you just go around, but how it showed up is just always backing out of relationships. So I have all these problems in relationships, always being defensive. Well, what about me? Because I think I'm getting attacked. Like something's wrong with me, right? And so I ended up in relationship after relationship, and even I was creating all this success. And you know, you think about it, 2008, it's been a long time. How long has it been?
15 years?
15 years. I've been like a bachelor, not by choice. Not by choice. I wanted to get married, but why? You know, I don't know if everybody experienced that. You want something, but why aren't you getting it? Right? I started realizing, I was struggling with this belief of just not being enough. So I did the work and kept working on it because it's the whole point of having all this success and enjoying it alone. It's miserable. I'm telling you right now. If you think money's gonna solve all your problems, it won't. You're gonna have the money, you'll be successful, you're gonna look around, you'll be like, man, I'm just doing this all alone. It's like watching a game and Michael Jordan being the game-winning shot and you just by yourself, enjoying it. It's meaningless. And so fortunate for me, I mean, as a result of doing the work and continuing to grow, because it was a lot of work for me to actually get through that. Fortunate enough to meet a woman who was like the most amazing woman I've ever met. And once I had met her, I knew I was going to spend my life with her. And so we just came back, we just got married about 2 weeks ago. My wife is over there. And so we went on an amazing trip. We went to London, and then we went to Spain, and then we got married in Gibraltar, the Rock of Gibraltar, if you guys are familiar with that. And then we went to Africa, which was a dream to go to Casablanca, and then we went to Rome, and then to Amsterdam, and we just got back about a week ago. So.
How about a round of applause for all of our shares tonight? Thank you what I will suggest is at the end of the evening, talk story with them. Like, talk story with the individual that invited you here tonight, and you also have an opportunity to talk story with them. And ask them, do you get paid for being here tonight? Because each and every one of them, size seminars, we're not able to afford.
I wish. I mean, there's a lot of time on the toaster or something.
You got a toaster or something? Not even a toaster. So you guys can ask them, like, what is it? Like, why are you guys here tonight? Like, why did you fly from the outer island just to come in here 2 hours just before this thing, just to support someone here? Like, ask them. You're gonna have an opportunity to ask each and every one of them, and also the individuals that invited you tonight. I do have an opportunity to do one more quick little thing for you to discover, explore a question, and discover. So the first thing that you'll notice here is what? I heard someone say stars. What's wrong with the stars? Missing a star. Oh, that was not by accident. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the four thinkers. So, the fourth person that thinks. If these are stars, what do you think a star might stand for? If we're talking about some of these things here, what do you think the star stands for? Goals. Goals. Awesome. So if these are goals, what do you think these red squares are? Excuses. Gotcha. Okay. Obstacles, excuses, right? And these are supposed to be human beings. So just bear with me. That's what they're supposed to be like. So these are like. Gotcha. Thank you. So 4 human beings, all right? So the fourth thinker doesn't even have a what? Doesn't even have a goal. Infancy to 18 years of age, he or she was told no, 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 sit down, stop, blah, 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 can't afford, can't do this, mom, dad, blame it on someone else, right? Doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. And so at one point, you just want to start getting rejected. So why am I even going to put something out there? Because throughout infancy to 18 years old, I was just denying. Again, doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. So this is the fourth thinker here, where this individual does not even have a goal. So, third thinker here has a goal, has an obstacle. So what is this way of thinking here? So this person comes up with an idea. Anybody in multi-level marketing? Multi-level marketing, okay. I did at least 10 of those businesses, at least 10 of them, right? And for me, I come up with a great idea to make money. Woo, what? I just gotta bring 3 people, those 2 people bring 3 people, and you can still make a lot of money? Oh man. And then I start calling people. Oh, Brandon, what you calling me for? Not interested. Okay. Well, you know what then? Maybe sell something else. You know what? I'm gonna sell maxi pads. Here we go. Hi, G-Rod. Brandon, what are you doing? This is a true story, by the way. What are you doing? You selling feminine napkins? No, Brad. Why would I buy it from a man? Oh, shoot. Okay, you're right. You know what then? Let me start buying candles there. I'm gonna start selling candles there, right? Brandon, candles is so 1970s. Like, why would I want to put any candles in my house? Like, oh my goodness, you're right. So then I start coming up with another idea, and then another idea, and another idea. anytime and every time I got to an obstacle, I ended up creating a new goal, right? So I'll create another goal here, I'll create another goal here, I'll create another goal here. And every time I got up to the obstacle, I ended up thinking of another goal. Never getting to the goal. And we call this the third way of thinking, also known as spaghetti brains. This person right here has a goal, has an obstacle. Now this person thinks of the goal. Now gets right up to this obstacle, right? So let's call this open a salon in Kaka'ako, 5 staff, rent stalls. All right, that's the goal. Oh man, I have no time. Oh man, time? There's only 24 hours in a day, so no time. I mean, is there any reason why there is no time? You know what, this stupid thing with the time thing is actually even bigger than that, because I do have time, but then at the same time, I don't have the time to go do that. You know what, this time thing ends up getting so big that you're so focused on time, that you become your own obstacle. That's the third way. Or that's that's the second thinker. First way of thinking. What do you notice? What do you have up here? Goal. What do you notice that they have?
Obstacle.
This person sets a goal. When he or she gets to the goal, 80 different tools and techniques. We're talking about the 4 sides of the square, and we're talking about on the mental side, we're talking about how to get creative, how to get solutions. So we're talking about Charles, no money, no credit, I don't know how, all these other things, right? And then, through creativity and solutions, breaks through it and gets that goal. And for those that are graduates here, when you get a goal, what do you do?
Set a goal.
Now, will this other goal have obstacles?
Yeah.
In fact, the bigger the goal, what do you think is going to happen to the obstacle?
Bigger obstacles.
And yet, through tools and techniques, 3 days of a class, money back guaranteed, that's $50, you experience on how to get to this next obstacle, a bigger obstacle, and you start figuring out solutions. Start getting support of individuals that fly from outer state, outer island, to support you getting goal to achieve that goal. And then, as Charles says, one goal starts to turn to 2 goals, starts to turn to 3 goals, starts to turn to 4 goals, 10 goals, buildings, offices, and so much more. To the point where the habit now becomes about breaking through all of this BS, using that last 5%. Using the last 5%. These tools and techniques, 50 years of proven here at Science Seminar, started right here in Hawaii. That last 5%, ladies and gentlemen, that's this effectiveness. That's the now. These individuals that came tonight are not paid to be here. They came here because they want to share their story. They're hoping that one way, shape, or form, you might have connected with them about a story about your family, about your income, about where you're at in your life. Doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. And yet, successful individuals, what I do know, if you're already successful, wants to become more successful. And if there's some challenges that are going on, then absolutely take the seminar. Because individuals like Charles was able to redirect, just like Aikido, 100 miles an hour, going this way with drugs, poverty, generation, growing up in Muluvehi. And now, he's at a space that he's taking care of his mom and taking care of the rest of his family forever and ever and ever and ever. I don't know why you folks are here tonight. I'm going to tell you about the very next class that we have available if you're interested in taking this class. Friday, May 19th. Registration at 9:30. If you notice, it says 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Notice where some of your minds went. Like, oh my gosh, that long? Well, guess what? Saturday, it happens all over again. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. What? 2 days of that, and then it goes another day. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Remember, infancy to 18 years of age, 95% of our limiting beliefs. Like, that must be boring. There's no way I'm going to do that. I have no time. I have no money, and all those other things, right? That's what's possible here. On a Monday and Tuesday, there's a 1-hour appointment that you get to have with a graduate, And then on Wednesday, there's a guest event with registration starting at 7, and then of course the presentation starting at 7:30. Some of you might have went straight to the bottom and heard womp, 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 womp on everything that I just said, because you looked at $795. Infancy to 18 years of age. Where are you at right now? If $795, does that make it right, wrong, good or bad, to be very clear? It's just what it is. If this is a challenge for you, what if a class has a money back guarantee, that's $50 processing fee for just 3 days, could actually change your life to create and achieve all these things and much more? You have an opportunity right now, ladies and gentlemen, to talk to the individual that has invited you here tonight. There's the guests and speakers, including myself. There's other graduates that are around that are willing to support you with what they got out of it. Ask all the questions. And if you find enough value tonight, should you decide to take this as an opportunity, we have a code, including at the desk where Joe and Hale is at, and the graduates know it as well. We'll take $200 off of the tuition. Hope to see you folks on May 19th. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask any of those. Thank you very much and have a great evening.